Alright, Joe here, welcome back to We Need to Talk one day early. Of course, this is the show that looks at football on the internet over the past few days. A few days that's seen Gary Neville and Jeff Shreves get absolutely soaked by some sprinklers.
Nearly got scuppered as well, look at that. He had to, with Jeff Shreves, run for their lives as the sprinklers were turned on. Deliberate at the Etihad? Probably.
Ian Holloway not happy about how football has handled the COVID-19 situation.
It should be about players' safety and welfare. You know, honestly, it's absolutely... How is it safe to play football when you ain't safe to watch it?
And Montreal Impact giving a little bit of insight into how Thierry Henry delivers his pre-match speeches in the dressing room.
Listen to me very carefully. This is not about tactics, it's not about what we work on. That's an idea of how you should play against them, attack and defend. But desire is going to be key today. More than key. It has to be way more than what we've done. And stop reacting, we need to act. It's about desire, nothing else. Nothing else. It is important. You can save your season. One game, you can save your season. And who knows what's going to happen next.
Anyway, today we need to talk about Liverpool Football Club. Yes, we're talking about Liverpool Football Club because it has well and truly hit the fan. Jurgen Klopp is no longer experiencing an injury crisis. This is now an injury apocalypse.
Kidding.
But who is injured? When are they coming back? And what solutions are there? Well, today I'm going to run through them. I'm going to ask one of the biggest Reds I know his thoughts as well. Before we start running through the injury list, first and foremost though, I want to hear your solutions in the comments below. Which player would you buy in the January window if you were Liverpool Director of Football? Let me know in the comments and I'll post the 3 best on my Instagram. Okay, I'm just looking at the injury list now, and it all really started with Alisson, didn't it? Suffering that shoulder injury. He's obviously back now, but let's face it, the little time he had out, Adrian didn't exactly fill his presence. Little bit of Chris Packet risk going on there, Adrian. We all know it. We all saw it. After Adrian comes the worst of the lot. Of course, it's Virgil van Dijk. As we all know, he suffered that major ACL injury that's likely to keep him out for the entire season. If you believe David Ornstein, he actually thinks it could be worse than initially feared as just an ACL. It could be even more damage to the knee. That happened when he got absolutely snap, crackled and popped by Jordan Pickford. Quite literally a short back and stomping tackle, that one. Hopefully people still remember the Jordan Pickford short back and stomping stuff. Now, we know Van Dijk underwent major knee surgery in London. Klopp did explain earlier in the season how he was feeling after that surgery.
What I can tell you that after a surgery, and it was successful, which is really good, the best news you could get, is that this time is always unpleasant. Everybody who had a surgery knows that. You don't wake up and everything is fine, so you feel still the surgery. So, and that's it. But he's good. He's good, as good as you can be, and that's it.
He wasn't the only player to get injured in the Everton game, though. Thiago took a hammering, didn't he? That horrific tackle straight out of the Joe Tomlinson playbook from Richarlison. How he didn't break his leg, I do not know, but he hasn't played a minute since that game, so it must have been pretty damn significant, to be honest with you. The impact alone. Oof. There's also been Joel Matip at times. I mean, he is pretty much made of glass anyway. I don't think I've ever seen him put together a serious run in this team. He's picked up numerous injuries already this season, so I guess we can count him as part of the injury list, or maybe he just owns the thing at this stage. The list did get longer though, didn't it, when Fabinho went off with the hamstring injury against FC Midtjylland. Now, he didn't travel on the international break to Brazil to play for his international team. He stayed by recovering, and there's actually rumours, in positive news, that he'll be back for the Leicester game on the 21st, the one after the international break. That would be a massive, massive positive for Klopp. Because at the weekend, it went from bad to worse in the back line, didn't it? Trent Alexander-Arnold appeared to pull his calf muscle, meaning a minimum of a 4-week layoff. And of course, it led Jurgen Klopp to join Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in demanding the return of 5 substitutes.
We have to talk again about the 5 subs. And if still the, I don't know, 14 teams say, I'm not sure they will say that 5 subs shouldn't happen, then let's at least let us sub 5 times when we play each other. the top six against each other. I have no idea if that's possible, but we have to find solutions.
And it does come to something, really, doesn't it? When he's not alone, Pep Guardiola also highlighting just how big that Trent injury is.
Yeah, no, we didn't speak about it at all. We speak about we have to fight again and again about 5 substitutions. Look, international English player, Trent Alexander-Arnold, is injured. So, in all around the world, 5 substitutions, but here we believe we are more special people on league and just 3 players. We don't protect the players, and that's why it's a disaster.
And then yesterday came the worst possible news for Liverpool fans.
Breaking news that could be significant for Liverpool and for England. Joe Gomez has suffered a potentially serious injury in England training this morning.
That's right, when training with England yesterday, Joe Gomez suffered what has been described by many media outlets as a serious knee injury, one that could keep him out for multiple months, according to some reports. Now, last night, Gareth Southgate gave a press conference, and he did remain pretty tight-lipped, it has to be said, over just how bad the injury was and how long he could be out for.
But it's not a good situation. I don't see him being involved in the games with us, that's for sure. We can't speculate the exact nature of the injury. It's not possible until we've seen scans. So, as I say, my immediate thoughts are with him, and because he's had some difficulties with injury in the past. So we're hoping as much as we possibly can and praying that it's not going to be a long-term one. But we just have to see.
Worryingly, though, for Gomez, a little bit like Southgate said in that press conference, it's not his first major injury and it's not his first major knee injury yet. We're not sure which knee it's happened to, but of course he did suffer that ACL injury back in 2015, didn't he, when he was playing for the England under-21 side. He also missed the Champions League final, he missed the World Cup in 2018 with that ankle ligament problem, and then he broke his leg as well, of course, in the tackle, I think it was Ben Mee, playing against Burnley. So he's been pretty unfortunate with injuries. Fingers crossed for him, this isn't another major one. And fingers crossed for Liverpool as well, because of course that isn't the end of the injury woes. Tsimikas is still out with an injury. He's expected to return after the international break. They've seen Oxlade injured. Shaqiri is now back, as is Henderson and Keita. But across the course of this season, we've already seen Liverpool have some of the worst luck with injuries I've potentially seen, well, maybe since City last year. They did have some pretty bad ones. So I thought to myself, after seeing the Joe Gomez news and the list of Liverpool injuries, that I had to get a Liverpool fan on We Need to Talk. I had to chat to him, get his reaction to the Gomez injury, get his solutions to this problem. And who better than regular matchgoer, massive scouser, YouTuber, and the man who said this in 2017.
Sadio Mane. I said it last time I was on it, he's the best football player in the world. I'm being serious, No, you see, I'm talking facts here. I don't do if, buts and maybes, I do absolutes. And, if your aunt had balls, she'd be your uncle, but she doesn't, so she's not. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Right, James, let's get your immediate reaction to Joe Gomez's major knee injury.
Joe, mate, I can't believe, what I'm hearing. Even when I saw it in the news, it was just... how does this happen? First off, you lose Virgil van Dijk, which is absolutely massive. And if that doesn't contribute to you no longer being in the contention for the Premier League, then surely if you lose your second best centre-back, arguably, in Joe Gomez, then that's going to at least put you out of that. Also, Joe Matip's made out of crisp. So how are we expecting to move forward? Joe, how are we expecting to go forward?
What are your thoughts on this fixture scheduling so far this season for the top teams, in particular Liverpool?
It's ridiculous, Joe. It's ridiculous for all the teams. And I'm not just saying this as a Liverpool fan, for everyone. I don't know how, even from what you've seen, the percentages of the increase of injuries from just muscle injuries alone is through the roof. How do we keep moving forward, and how do we go into the international break so naive with knowing the schedule that we've got going forward? Because now if you have a player out for 2 weeks, Trent's out for 4 weeks, and I know we're talking about Joe Gomez, but people say, it's only 4 weeks, so it's down. 2 of them at international break, so it's okay. No, we've got about 6 games or 7 games in that time, in that period, so you need your best players.
All right, so what is your solution? If you were Jurgen Klopp right now looking at this squad, what would your solution be for such a packed fixture schedule and such an injury-prone team right now?
Just please, whatever, just get good doctors first off. No, what I would say, just with this schedule and fixture, there's no real advice you can give him, because I'd say start your best players to get the maximum points. I said going into the Manchester City game, people were saying, oh, do you want to start Matip because one of these not fully fit? It's like, no, if he's fit, you start him because he's your best centre-back option to start next to Joe Gomez. Therefore, going forwards, I'd just say that same thing. It's such a confusing time because Liverpool have been so fortunate with no injuries over the years. We've had the odds one, even you look back at the Barcelona game, we had the two most key players in our squad at the time, arguably, in Firmino and Salah, out, and we still coped there. But that's 45 minutes, that's 90 minutes. But when it's over the season, you need a consistent run of games, so it's going to be difficult.
So who is your back four? If you're Jurgen Klopp going into the next 6 weeks, who would your starting back four be for Liverpool now that Gomez is out long term, Van Dijk's out long term, Trent is rumoured to be out fairly long term, sort of 4 to 6 weeks. What are your thoughts on the back four?
Robbo has got to be left back, of course. There's no other real option. Centre back, Joe Matip, as long as he can stay fit, of course, because he's the only other option at the club. Now it's a juggle between Nat Phillips and Rhys Williams, and I think Rhys Williams is the more agile, more mobile centre back, and one of them would have to start right, and then right back, because this is an interesting one with no Trent. Nico Williams, I don't want to see him get into the team just purely based on the fact that the last time he had an edgy performance, it weren't even that bad. So many Liverpool fans got on his back, and I don't want that for a young kid who isn't fully ready, in my opinion. He's still good, he's still got quality, but he needs developing. He's not a starting right back. But I think with James Milner, I think he's got to go there for while Trent isn't, because he's just the most experienced. He's going to give you at least a 6 or 7. My only worry is, can he keep up with the quick wingers, with the fact Father Time does catch up with you.
And then final word, with the amount of injuries you've currently got with Gomez, with Van Dijk, with Trent, with Fabinho in and out, can Liverpool still win the league?
I knew that was going to be the question. I knew that was going to be the question, and I was hoping you wasn't going to ask it, because I don't like that question. Do you like the way managers don't like being asked that question when they're doing well in the league? I'm like that right now, except for the opposite reasons. We've coped well with injuries so far. I'll have to say, I'm going to still say yeah. I'm going to still say yeah, because I'm just going to believe. I know, that's a tough one. Listen, I'm just going to say yeah because I believe, touch wood, and obviously God and all that, please just everyone come back into the team and just be okay. Van Dijk's out fair, Joe Gomez is out fair. If we can get lucky in other departments going forward, then I think we can cope.
Top man, James, thanks very much for that, buddy. Do you want to just let the people know where they can catch you as well while you're here?
Right, so James Edmonds TV on the YouTube and James Edmonds _96 on Instagram and Twitter. Joe, thank you very much for having me on, brother. It was a pleasure.
Top man, James. Cheers, buddy. So those were James's thoughts on this Liverpool injury apocalypse. Personally, I don't know whether Liverpool fans care about my opinion, but I think they desperately need to sign in January. I would personally try and tempt Upamecano. I know he's got the £42 million buyout clause that becomes active in June, and people were already probably commenting saying, why would Leipzig sell him? Well, I actually think they might sell him if Liverpool gave them an improved offer. If Liverpool went in with, let's say, 65 million and said, look, we're going to give you an extra 20 just for 6 months of his services. We could wait until the summer and get him for 40, but we'll give you extra money. Take him early. They've got a great relationship with the Red Bull Group, of course, bringing in Minamino and Naby Keita in the past. Why not? Have a stab, because they have to sign a centre-back. They cannot go through this season with this lack of depth. The Dejan Lovren sale was an absolute disaster. In the immediate, I would probably err on the side of agreeing with James. I'd go Robbo, I'd go Milner as my fullbacks, and then probably Fabinho and Matip. Now Fabinho is back fit, but huge problems. So let me know, as I said at the start of this video, if you were director of football, who would you sign? And you know what? Where are Liverpool going to finish this season? Because this feels like massive news. The Gomez injury feels to me like it tips it over the edge as now a title that they might not be able to win. Do I believe myself when I say that? Because they're still favourites. I'm not sure. Let me know. So that's it for today's episode of We Need to Talk. If you enjoyed it, make sure you hit the like button and hit subscribe. Why not check out loads of other Football Daily videos as well. Yesterday's transfer talk on Cristiano Ronaldo returning to Manchester United. Please, God, one of these summers let it be true. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you later.